Life of Florbela Espanca. Florbela Espanca
was a poetess who packed much into a short and uncommon life.
Espanca
Was born Florbela de Alma da Conceição in the provincial town of Vila Viçosa near Évora in 1894. Her mother was a young housemaid, only 15 years of age when she was born in the household of her father, João Maria Espanca, a businessman. Her father's wife was unable to conceive children of her own and agreed to Florbela being brought up by both herself and the child's natural mother. Her father also later had a son with Florbela's mother. This unusual childhood no doubt influenced her subsequent views on life and love expressed in her evocative poetry. Indeed, Florbela was to hold her father in high esteem throughout her brief life. She began writing poetry at an early age. A Vida e a Morte, Life and Death, was written when she was only 8 years old. Her mother died at young, only 29, in 1908, and Florbela began school in Évora shortly after. However, she failed to graduate and dropped out of school to marry a former classmate, Alberto Moutinho, in a civil ceremony. They set up a school and both began working as teachers in the area to sustain themselves, later moving back with her father's place due to money problems. Her first collection of verse, O Livro de El, his book, was dedicated to her brother in 1917. After re-enrolling and finally graduating high school, she moved to Lisbon, where she was one of only a handful of women at the time to enter the University of Lisbon. She studied law in a building that is now the German embassy. Her husband was left behind and her father paid for the tuition fees. A series of miscarriages were to follow and the unfortunate poetess began to display signs of depression and mental ill health. At the time of her divorce from Moutinho in 1919, she published Livro de Magos, the Book of Sorrows. She married Antonio Guimarães, also in a civil ceremony in 1923, but yet another miscarriage led to another divorce, after the couple began to quarrel ferociously and seemingly physically.
Espanca
Married a third time, this time in a religious service to her doctor, Mario Lage, a friend of Antonio Guimarães, in 1925. This union was probably the most tranquil of her life, but it seemed
Espanca
was also having a flirt with a pianist shortly before her death. Her last collection of verses, Charnesa and Flor, Health in Bloom, expresses the poetess' desire for love, and in her sonnet Amar, her desire for freedom in love. Eu quero amar, amar perdidamente, amar só por amar, aqui, além, mas este é aquele, o outro é toda a gente. Amar, amar, e não amar ninguém. Recordar, esquecer, indiferente, prender o desprender. É mal, é bem, quem disser que se pode amar alguém. Durante a vida inteira é parquemente. I want to love, to be lost in love, to love just for love. Here, there, this one, that one, another one, everyone, to love and not love anyone. Remember? Forget? It's all the same. Hold on or let go. It's wrong or right. Those who say they can love someone, their whole life long are telling lies. The death of her brother Apelles in a flying accident, which may have been suicide, affected her deeply. Apelles was a pilot in the Portugis Air Force and died in a seaplane accident in 1927. After 2 unsuccessful attempts,
Espanca
committed suicide on her 36th birthday after an overdose of barbiturates in Matosinhos, near Porto. As she wrote in her diary that she began to keep at the end of her life, "My life, what a mess, I don't even know what I want."
Florbela Espanca.
She wrote mostly in the sonnet form, but also contributed articles for periodicals of the time. She was also a short story writer.
Florbela
She is
Espanca.
generally regarded as Portugal's foremost poetess. Although her sonnets were not formally innovative, they impressed contemporary readers and still impress us today because of the unusual intensity of feeling they express. A statue dedicated to her can be seen in the Parque dos Poetas, just outside Lisbon in Oeiras, and another one in Vila Viçosa.